You're listening to the Into the Woods podcast with your hosts, Dermot and Michael. Let's get into it.
Wonderful chase by Hinshaw.
Cox again. I cannot believe it. Daicos nearly runs out of room. He's fouled.
Jamie Elliott has won the game of footy for this famous club.
Slap for Nick Daicos. He's going to be the hero. The little champ is going to kick the winner.
Here's the McGo moment. He unloads. Bang! You need your stars. And Collingwood stars just went and wrenched the cup back.
If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. For Spotify and Apple listeners, a 5-star rating will be greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit the bell icon on any of those platforms to be notified as soon as new episodes are released. You can find us on X at Into the Woods Pod and on Instagram at Into the Woods Pod 10. Thanks for your ongoing support by helping the podcast grow. Go Pies! Welcome to the Into the Woods podcast, brought to you by mattsprintshop.com.au. I'm your host Dermot, and for the next hour or so, we'll be talking about all things Collingwood. Once again, I'm joined by Michael. How are you, Mick?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah, good, thanks. Good, thanks. Yeah, good, thanks.
Why ask the question? Well, we've been right all through this, Dermot. A, you shouldn't be asking the question. You know how I am because we've been talking for 10 minutes. B, if you're going to ask the question, I'll give the answers. You ask the questions, I'll give the answers.
I'm only mocking you because I was talking to a Into the Woods listener during the week.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Who was that? Is it GD?
No, not GD.
No? Oh,
I didn't check if GD left us another review. A lad by the name of Aiden, and he just commented on the fact that you give me nothing every time I ask how you are.
Well, you asked me how I am. I answer the question, Aiden. Okay? He says, how are you? I say, good, thank you.
Yeah, well, maybe you can say something for then,
What, the freaking Gettysburg Address?
Before we get into last night's game, we're recording this on Sunday morning, 8:16 a.m. So very fresh after the disgraceful loss to the Crows. But before we get into that, I've got just a couple of things I want to mention. The first one being panel show. Back this Wednesday, drops at 3 o'clock p.m. I'll be joined by Andres from Black and White United, along with Paige for her 2026 debut and Oscar for his 2026 debut. So panel show a little bit later this month than usual. Regular listeners will know it normally drops on the first Wednesday of every month, but we've pushed it back a little bit due to the scheduling of Collingwood games. Last week was a late Sunday game. The week before in the pre-season match was a late Sunday game, so it just didn't add up. So it's probably a good time to have it. We can pull apart everything that's happened in the first couple of rounds, good and bad. So I'd be interested to get their thoughts. It will be our first panel show without you as well, Mick, unless you get the very late call up again for Paige.
Yeah. Well, I'll come off the bench if need be. I'll set aside my Agnes Moorehead videos and do the right thing.
The other thing, just quickly, we mentioned it a lot in the back half of the pre-season, but for people that are just jumping on now during the regular season, our number one goal in 2026 is to grow our YouTube channel. We're pretty established now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so to help us grow on YouTube, it's just as simple as subscribing to the channel, and that'll make all the difference. So we'd really appreciate that. And I love how you always have that little grin at the end.
It'll make all the difference. Everything will be fine in the world as long as if you subscribe.
It does make a huge. You know what? Before we did this podcast, I'm a big podcast listener. I listen to a lot on all three platforms. Well, not so much Apple, but Spotify and YouTube. I'm big on them, and I never subscribed. I never liked. I never did anything like that because I just didn't think it was important.
Yet you're asking other people to do this.
Yeah, but now that I'm actually
that is in your interest to do it.
Well, no, because I have a better understanding now of actually how important it is. I didn't think it was important. So now I make sure I subscribe like every single podcast I listen to or watch. So we'll greatly appreciate that. Subscribe.
Please.
Come on. Yeah.
Please.
All right. Let's talk about it now, Mick.
Yep.
What a fucking disaster. What an absolute joke. Well, it's been a while since we've come on after a loss, hasn't it? So what, prelim final last year, September. You kind of forget, don't you? You kind of forget how fucking annoying it is.
Yeah, look, we just weren't good enough. We just simply not good enough. Like, end of story. We got blown out of the water. Third quarter, we left ourselves with too much to do in the last quarter. Everything had to go perfectly. There was one controversial call by the umpires. So everyone got
One,
well, let me
there was one, was there?
okay. But the point I'm making is we left ourselves vulnerable because everything had to go perfectly in the last quarter. We kicked 6 goals at the three-quarter time. Basically, to have won, we would have had to have probably kicked 8 in the last quarter. Assuming they're going to kick 1 or 2. Okay, so we left ourselves with kicking 8 in the last quarter, having kicked 3 in the first, 6 in the first 3, and everything had to go perfectly. There was a controversial umpiring decision to 50 that Fogarty kicked the goal from, and that really stemmed the flow. But we can only blame ourselves.
Oh yeah,
What was going on in that third quarter?
we'll fucking shit house. Don't get me wrong, we were awful, and
Here
we'll
we
get
go,
and we'll get
right.
stuck into that. But let's not let the umpires get away with their disgraceful performance last night. To say that there was one decision in that last quarter,
Well, one
it was
really
it was no. I don't want to sit here and talk about the umpiring for 5 minutes, but it was the whole quarter. It was constant. It was one-sided, and we had all the momentum. And they constantly free kick Adelaide, 50 Adelaide, 50 Adelaide. Here, hand them, give them a goal, give them a goal. Make sure that there's no way that we can continue with this momentum and win the game. Yes, we were in that position because of how bad we were.
Yeah.
Yes, but they didn't help in that last quarter.
Well, they didn't help, but you can't. Again, you're putting yourselves in a position where you had to rely on a third party doing their job properly.
Oh,
That's the
a
position we
highly
put ourselves.
paid professional to actually be able to do his job.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're people doing it. They're not. It's not
challenge,
AI robots.
challenge.
But yeah, that's what I think. They just left themselves far too much to do in the last quarter, and
I think halfway through that first quarter, from halfway through that first quarter to the end of the second quarter, the whole second quarter and half of that first quarter, we dominated the game. We dominated the game, and we found ourselves behind at halftime. How the fuck does that happen? How do you dominate the game for a quarter and a half and you find yourself behind? Like Maynard, I think, actually played a decent game, but that kick with about 20 seconds left in the second quarter, we just got the lead for the first time. We should have just been winding down the clock.
a minute to go.
And he centers it and it cost us a goal. Did Fogarty, was it Fogarty kicked it after the side? Someone like
I
that.
think it might have been Fogarty. Yeah.
It was. That was a bad mistake from Brazil. That was a really bad mistake. And then we came out with absolutely no heart in that third quarter. Stagnant, boring football. Well, they just took on the game and
they started to run. We'd slowed them right down that second quarter. Yeah, got the game on our terms, but then they just decided they probably thought, why aren't we running? They came out and they started to run, overlap run, and down to their big forwards, and they didn't mark it. They brought it to ground, and yeah, they just looked.
Can I say last week after our win, I said there are a lot of positives to take out of it. Obviously, we won the game of football. That's great, but there were a few little things that didn't quite go our way. That was so obvious. They were just staring at us in the face. Anyone could see it. Anyone could see it. And I said, yeah, we won the game, but let's make change. Let's learn from our mistakes, even though we won. Let's not wait till we lose a game of football before we start changing things.
Yep.
And I'm talking about the 3 tall forwards, Dan McStay, Jack Buller, and Tim Membry. It clearly does not work. And it's not just a one-game sample size. It was all last year with the Triple M's when it was Myercheck, McStay, and Membry. Did not work. Not only did they not perform, it takes away from our best forward, Jamie Elliott. He doesn't perform as well when there's 3 of them there. His best games last year came when there were 1 or 2 key forwards. Every game that there was 3, maybe not every game, but I would say 90% of the games where there were 3 keys last year, Jamie Elliott suffered. And he suffered last week despite us winning. And guess what? We went with them again, the 3 tours, and he suffered again. So it's taken away from Jamie Elliott. And the three guys down there, they just ain't good. They're not good footballers. Why are we rolling with 3 guys who simply cannot play the game? They cannot play the game. It's not like we've got 3 superstars down there and we're all trying to fit them in. Their role players are best. Someone, I'm sorry, I'd like to give you credit, but I can't remember who it was. Someone in our comments last week basically said that we've got 3 third tall forwards. All 3 of them would be decent as the third tall, but they're all in the same team together. They're the first, second, and third. Like,
Yep.
what
Yep.
the fuck are they doing? Are they going to change
Well-
it? I'd say no, because they didn't learn last year. They did not learn last year. So what's to say that they're going to learn this year?
Well, it's hard for Elliott to get a kick when he's on the ground for the first 20 minutes anyway. Why Elliott, our best forward, was sitting on the bench for the first 20 minutes, God knows. Like somebody said to me, oh, they were doing the same thing as they did with Pendlebury last week. Pendlebury's a midfielder. Elliott's not running anywhere near as much as Pendlebury does or will run in a game. So why have you got your best forward in an area we really struggle, sitting on the bench for the first 20, 25 minutes? Game on with 5 minutes to go.
I was on Insta this morning and a post from 3 days popped up saying that he was sick and in doubt to play. So I didn't know about this at the time. It only popped up this morning. I'm wondering if it had something to do with that.
Well, he's going to get better in that half an hour sitting on the bench.
I know. Like, it doesn't make sense. Either you're sick or you're not. Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
He's going to be sick the whole week, but that half an hour on the bench is all he needs to come right.
Yeah.
Hey, whenever we're sick, we should just spend a half an hour on the bench and we'll come up well.
But they like.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious what we do. I think everybody can see it other than the coaching staff. You got Jamie Elliott, you put him in the goal square. You switch him with Jordan DeGoey, he can play out of the goal square. Then you've got your smalls down there, Shooter, Bo McCreary, potentially Harvey Harrison, because we need to change something. Maybe he should come in. You got your smalls down there. Steele Sidebottom, put him deep as well, because he ain't doing much up the ground. And then you go in with two talls to just, so we're structurally right. One of them should be Charlie West. Let's play the kid, because he ain't going to go any worse than those 3 Muppets. And the other one...
Don't use the Muppets. It's such a bogan term. Keep on going, Muppets.
The other one's Jack Buller. We keep him for now, but far out he looks bad. The only reason I'm keeping him is because he's only had 2 games compared to McStay, who has...
And he's our second ruck. Well, unless you want to charge him with Steen.
I wouldn't mind bringing Steen in, like I said last week, playing him for 50%
really,
of the game. But you're not going to... McStay, we know what we're going to get from. He's got nothing to offer us anymore. And Membry, honestly, I actually think Membry is the best of those 3. But because when he gets it, he's a lot more reliable. I know he missed that 1 goal, but he's more reliable than those other 2 when he actually gets it.
But he
doesn't get it. He's a fucking ghost. He's a ghost. We can't see him.
2 possessions going to the last quarter.
Exactly. That's my point.
It's just not good enough.
He's a better footballer than Buller and McStay when he has it, but he doesn't get it. We don't know he's there. Those 2, Membry and McStay have to go, and the forward line needs to be structured around Elliott and DeGoey and the smalls. Just come on, boys. Come on.
We're going into a game against a side that has 3 very good key forwards. And we've got 2 of our key back out. And you've got a guy in the forward line who does nothing, the aforementioned McStay. So it's not like if we were to just take him out of the forward line, put him in the back line and said, McStay, just be big. Just be big. Use your height, use your weight, contest the ball, bring it to ground. We're not expecting much more from you because they're asking too much of Billy Frampton down there by himself.
Poor Bill. Yeah.
Because we're not losing anything from the forward line. We're actually doing the forward line a favour by taking an extra big out, as you've just articulated, and maybe putting a small in there, like Sidebottom. Push Sidebottom very deep forward because he's not giving us much around the ground. What the hell are we doing? We're not setting the world on fire in the centre. They smashed us at centre clearances. Yet you've got a first round draft pick who's cooling his heels out on the wing and half forward. Would we be sacrificing much to give Ed Allen a few more centre bounce attendances? Get him in there. He can explode out of stoppages. Well, he has the potential to explode out of stoppages. Use his pace.
So
what I'm getting at, these moves I'm suggesting, it's not like we're taking a winner from one area and potentially sacrificing that win to put him into another area. We're losing with McStay in the forward line. We're losing with Allen on the wing, half forward. Move them into areas we're struggling in, and hopefully we'll have a win-win. What the hell are they doing?
So I've just looked up the CBAs because I hadn't done that yet. I'm interested to see who poked their little head in there before Ed Allen. Apparently, Ed Allen had one. I don't remember that. I must have tuned out by that point. It must have been very late. Side bottom 3 is the obvious one. Why not give Ed Allen 4?
I
know
saw Jamie Elliott in there for a couple. So we can't buy a mark in the forward line, so we take our best forward line contested marker out. He was in there for
Jamie Elliott 0.
Oh, come on. He was in there for at least what? Those stats are wrong. I saw him in the centre bounce.
It's the official AFL app. I don't know.
Well,
what
the
to say.
official AFL app is wrong.
It's saying
All right,
0.
so
It's saying
well, if
0.
if it wasn't that, then he was coming right up as a high half forward to stoppages
I agree with you on Allen.
around the wing area. He was up really high.
To me, it's very simple with Ed Allen now. Very, very simple. It's either you play him in his natural position, which is inside mid, and give him the best chance to succeed, or you drop him because he isn't good enough as a wingman, and he isn't good enough as a halfback or a half forward or whatever the fuck you want to play.
But who are we going to bring in for him?
Doesn't matter. He had 8 disposals.
Well, it does matter. It kind of does matter who you bring in.
He had 8 disposals. 8 disposals. Doesn't matter. Whoever comes in is going to do better than that.
Well, I think you talked about Harvey Harrison. I think Harvey Harrison needs a good month in the twos. When did the twos start anyway?
I have no idea.
Because he looks so rusty in the preseason games, and you'd understand that he hasn't played for approaching 18 months. He didn't in August 24, so that's a long time ago. He needs to get some confidence and form back in the twos, I think.
Look, if it were up to me, I wouldn't drop Ed Allen. I would play him in his natural position inside mid for at least 3 games, then reassess. But what I'm saying is, if they're not willing to do that, there's just no point in having him there at all.
He started to look a little bit better in the back stages of the game.
8 possessions, Michael.
I know. I'm saying they should move him.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I know, yeah.
You know what? I agree with you on the McStay thing as well. He's so shit that what's the point in keeping him forward? You may as well try something different. They got Phil Fob, Tex, Fogarty, poor old Quainer having to run around Tex. It was just putting down there. But here's an idea for you. And I was thinking about this morning while I was showering, Mick. You know, the old, thinking about, the pies when you're in the shower. Yeah, baby, yeah.
Oh, talking about thinking about things.
Okay, just talk over my idea that I was going to have.
Well, I have to jump in occasionally.
I was building up to an idea, but I was thinking about it in the shower, and then you completely interrupted.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. It's probably not going to be any good anyway.
It actually is. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, you have a tendency to think your ideas.
Oh, sorry. What, Perryman as a tagger? That was an awful idea, wasn't it?
I'm talking about your ideas, Dermot. This is about your ideas. What happened to Dermot's musings? The much anticipated Dermot's musings as you walked around town and you got inspiration. Mm-hmm. Inspiration descended on you. You were going to share it with the populace, and nothing.
YouTube lives.
Yeah, it comes as no surprise to me that you don't have a lot of thoughts.
Just hold on a second. I said I'm going to do it whenever I feel the time is right. I'm not just going to jump on for no reason. So we're 2 games in.
Well, how about this thought you had in the shower? Why didn't you jump on there?
I had it this morning. I had it half an hour ago.
What
now
is
I'm
it?
here talking to you.
What is it?
We're looking for a big boy down in the back line, right? Because our recruiting is just... let's say it again. Our recruiting is disgusting. We completely neglected the fact that we need a key defender. We relied on a 36-year-old with dodgy calves, Darcy Moore, and Billy Frampton and then as their backup, a guy coming off an ACL injury who is clearly not ready, and Reece McGuinness, and nobody else. So good job, Collingwood. That was great recruit. Nobody saw that was going to go wrong, did they? 2 rounds in and we're already fucked over. Here's an idea, Mick. Oh God, that and the ruck. God, it's only a matter of time before Darcy Cameron gets injured, and we're ranting about the same thing. God, awful recruiting. But here's an idea.
I remind you to subscribe, by the way. You don't hear this stuff anywhere else. This is why Collingwood's fucked over, apparently.
We did recruit a big guy. Let's put Jack Buller down there in key defence. Because the guy can't play forward. The guy's useless. But he's a big boy. He's a competitor. And he doesn't touch the ball. We know that. But he can probably stick with a man and bloody defend. Give me a reason why not.
Then how do you use him second ruck? How do you manipulate? How do you free him up for the second?
I don't care about Jack Buller as a second ruck. He can't do that anyway. He can't do anything. He's a big boy, so put him down in the back line. I'm not even joking. He would be better than McStay at that, because McStay can't even bend over to tie up his fucking shoelaces. He's the most unflexible guy I've ever seen. Put Buller down there.
a few sides seem to be going with the second ruck. You got Hawthorn going the second ruck. You got Adelaide going the second ruck. You got St Kilda going for the second ruck. Like it looked like Darcy Cameron had his hands full yesterday. He could have used more of a chop out, I think. So, and apparently, as we've heard, as Serge has told us in his VFL reports last year, I think he thinks that Steen can take the odd contested mark in the forward line. He's not totally useless down there, and I've seen him kick for goal when he's got a pretty good action. So would he be a better option in the forward line like a
Well,
Buller,
I'll go back
like a
to
McStay? Like every time McStay got the ball last night, and the few times he did, he just butchered it.
he's an idiot.
He just.
He's just
I,
everything he does. He
I,
learns the shit.
I know you've got an idea about the name of this podcast being McGo,
McGo.
and that's good.
McGo.
I can think of a more uncouth one, but I'm
Go
not
on.
going to share it with the listeners.
Just say it.
No, it's
McStay
uncouth
isn't
for the
listening to
bogan.
this podcast. Yeah, go on, Mick. This is for the fans. We're a fan podcast. We're not the fucking Channel 7 media. Say it. Say it.
Oh, Mick shit.
Oh, how could
is
you
how-
possibly
it just-
say
It
that?
just came to.
It just came to you.
He's just hopeless.
No,
He's
but
just-
yeah.
Beep that bit out for the kiddies, would you? Although we are on Apple, this is why we're explicit on Apple, because I run off at the mouth, my potty mouth.
DeGoey, Elliott, Charlie West, and then let's just keep maybe Membry, because when he does get it, he isn't that shit. They can be your targets, and then Jack Buller, centre half back to Billy Frampton, and then Oscar Steen on the bench for 50% of the game, 50% on the ground, chopping out for Cameron.
Are
How
we
much
mo-
better would that be?
Are we
Use your
moving-
imagination, Fly. Oh, go, let's rock up with bloody McStay, Membry, and Buller up forward again, and keep Elliott on the bench for the first half hour. That's what he's going to do in the next game. They'll beat the Giants. Yeah.
Is that just moving the chair on the deck chairs on the Titanic? Really? Are we just fundamentally? We're not challenging this year. I told you we're going to be in the wild card round. We're going to be inside, just inside, just outside the 8. We're just not good enough this year.
I think we are. This is
I know,
why I'm so
because
frustrated.
I think you're being a bit delusional.
No,
we're not good enough with who's our key forwards. We've just talked about how we're talking about maybe putting Oscar Steen, a guy who hasn't played a game.
No, I'm not talking about Oscar Steen
No,
I'm not. I'm talking about him. It's just purely being a second ruck that spends half the game on the bench.
We've got one decent key forward, a guy who plays tall but is the size of a small man. We've got one.
Do you not listen to anything I say? Do you not reckon that a DeGoey Elliott's forward line would be dynamic and dangerous, and with side bottom deep, Schultz, McCreary, and then have a couple of those tall still there just for structural reasons? But base your forward line around DeGoey, base it around Elliott, hear me out, and then we're getting smashing clearances. Here's an idea. Put Josh Daicos in the midfield full time. He played there in the second half. Put him in there from the start next to Nick. Put Bo McCreary in there more. These guys, we can change things to make it better. If Darcy Moore comes back, they'll help us down back. The rest of our defense is very good. We are good enough to win the premiership. But what is holding us back is we're not willing to make change. We're willing to go with the same boring structure, the same boring players every single week. We do not change things. We wait until it's too late before we start to change things. It's now. Change it now, and we have a chance to win the premiership. Don't change it until round 12 or 13 when the season's gone. Do it now, because we've got the right players there. We're just not using them correctly. I believe we can win the premiership because I don't think there's many good teams in it this year. That's the other thing. Brisbane are about the only gun team that
Gold Coast?
They still haven't. They've got great players on paper. They just haven't proven it yet. We've been there. We've done that. That's why I give us a chance if we change now.
Oh, I've always been a fan of Richmond's 2017 forward line setup, and going right back until Footscray in the kind of 97 period, their forward line setup, where you got the one key forward. Footscray's day was Chris Grant. I think he was the main key forward. Then you have a heap of small guys. Revolt for Richmond, heap of small guys. I like that. I don't think we've got a Chris Grant or a Jack Revolt, like who can contest in the air. That long kick into the forward line you sometimes have to do. You can't always, the bail out kick. We need a good tall for the bail out kick, and I don't know if De Goey and Elliott are going to be able to consistently be a bail ad target kick.
What about Cox? Oh, sorry, that's right.
Yeah,
He
well,
listed
again, like
him.
we talk about Cox every week, and and I was thinking about him again yesterday, and I thought to myself, I think the point to give you your due, Dermot, you made a comment a couple of 18 months ago saying we win a lot of games when they play Cox and Cameron together. When we played them both together, like yeah, yeah, I know.
What
We're just
about
going to be saying
Freo
the
not
same
playing
old
him
thing.
yesterday? Picking
Yeah.
that
Oh
big
yeah.
bloody spud Sean
Yeah,
Darcy.
I was watching the game and I'm thinking, what's this hype around Sean Darcy? I haven't seen it. I
It's
know he's been
crap.
injured a lot, but he's just
Because in the back half of the preseason, what I was hearing was Cox's preseason's been so good that even if Sean Darcy was fit, which he wasn't, Cox would be in ahead of him. So
yeah.
I was in disbelief when the teams came out and on Thursday night and Cox was an emergency. I was actually Cox is so cheap in Supercoach. I was actually trying to find a way to put him on my bench. Mason Cox in Supercoach. Just it doesn't work normally. It just
Well,
wouldn't make any sense. But I was that keen on
yeah.
Cox.
The reason I was thinking about Cox last night is because did you watch McRae's press conference?
I did. I turned it off the moment the siren went. Couldn't
Yeah,
bear to
yeah.
watch anymore.
So he was asked a question about the Adelaide Rucks, the new guy
McAndrew. Yep.
McAndrew, and he said he started to talk about how the new centre the ball up rule is going to suit a player like him, and I'm waiting for him to elaborate on that because I think he would have eventually maybe checked himself. But the reason it suits somebody like that is the guy's 210 centimeters. That's why, and can jump a little bit. That's why it suits him. Well, we had a guy who was 211 11 centimeters. Yeah, we showed him the door. And yet you're saying this new ruck rule, I think he meant that it suits the tall guys. Well, we had the tallest guy who wanted to stay at our club, who cost us a pittance, and we showed him the door.
Michael,
I still don't
be
understand
fair.
that.
We clearly we got a good replacement for him. We got um
Buller.
oh, yeah. Okay, no, we didn't get anyone.
Yeah,
Right, good
didn't get it.
recruiting, Collingwood. Well
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Yes.
So that was puzzling. Like I don't know. I don't know. You know what else I don't know about?
A lot.
I was watching 360 the other day, and I turned it on partway through, and they were talking about the Dylan Moore thing and how serious it is. And I didn't know what they were talking because I'd already covered what had actually happened. And they were talking about ramifications, blah blah blah, losing the vice captaincy, and then they've gone into the tackle, the midweek tackle afterwards. So I saw that from the start, and they had Dylan Moore's press conference, and Dylan Moore was close to tears. I'm thinking, Jesus, what's going on? Somebody's died. Somebody's been killed. Somebody has died at the hands of Dylan Moore. This is terrible. What the hell was he done? No, he got pissed and he commandeered a scissor lift. What the hell? What the hell is going on? Where have we come to as a society? Like this is a young footballer, couple of young guys who on an end of season footy trip have got pissed and commandeered a scissor lift. Aren't they supposed to get pissed and commandeer scissor lifts on end of season footy trips?
You know,
What is going on in society? In the old days, he would have been promoted to captain.
I was about to say he
Not
lost
demoted
he
from
lost the
vice-captain.
vice captaincy over it and completely out of the leadership group altogether.
And he was close to tears for crying out loud.
Probably because he wanted to.
What is wrong? Okay, keep on going.
All right, let's move on. I promise we'll get a little bit more positive with some performances soon, but I just want to talk about a few more players before we do that. Clearly, bringing these guys up isn't going to be good for them. Pat Lipinski, weak as piss.
Can I just comment on these as you bring them up? Sorry. I was happier with his game. Oh, Michael, okay, just give us a chance. I was happier with his game. He made a couple of blues. He tried to tackle Tex in the third quarter, and I don't know if you remember that. I was centre half forward. Tex kind of just swiveled his hips a little bit, and then we were lucky. I don't think they got a goal out of him, but they should have. And he just flew off him like a rag doll. It didn't look too hard. It didn't look like he tried to tackle him with too much vigor. So that annoyed me. And you start thinking about, other people. I think, my mate George and Uncle Jerry from Sleepy Hollow have said Anderson for Lipinski, and Jesus, yeah, it's getting close.
I do want to talk about Anderson in a second, but can I just quickly comment while we're still talking about Lipinski?
Keep on going.
As you were talking then, I just opened a message from a friend of the show, Serge. He's 15 minutes ago sent me a message. I only just got around to opening it. Perfect timing, Serge. The message says, go easy on the review of the game. Be grateful you weren't there live. Tell Michael Lipper sucked.
Hey, I'm starting to give a bit of ground now, Serge. Okay. All right.
Good timing, Serge. Good timing.
It's not like I can't learn. Okay.
No, the guy I want to talk about Angry Anderson too, because of the next guy that I've got on the list. Are we overrating Ned Long? Is he actually that fucking good? Like, let's not forget, his back half of last year, other than the qualifying final, was awful. He had a really hot patch in the first 10 to 12 weeks of last year. We love him because of that, but he actually did nothing in the back half of last year, and we were bagging him. But then all was forgotten because of the great qualifying final we played. I don't have the stats in front of me. I think it might have been 14 or 15 disposals.
I think he got. I think he got 16.
16 last week was about 12. Yeah, he's always close to our leading CBA player, so he's around the ball. CBA's second to Daicos with 16. Nick, that is. He needs to do something. He actually needs to give us something, doesn't he? Because this has been going on for too long. And when you got a guy like Angry Anderson that we recruited as a ready-made player to fill a role if we need, then the pressure should be on.
Yeah, the pressure. You'd hope the pressure would be on, but I kind of talked to him about him indirectly before when I was talking about Ed Allen and our centre bounce, the people who attend our centre bounces. I was thinking of Ed Allen in for Long. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah,
we could do that.
So I'm starting to run. I like when he was in his hot patch last year. I remember saying in the pod, the good thing about this guy is his game is so simple. I can't see it being compromised too much. It's just see ball, get ball, handball out to Daicos. That's all he does. That's all he needs to do. Big body and tackle. His game is just so basic that not much can go wrong with it. But things are going wrong with it. He's not getting the ball.
Let's just remember. So Ned Long, I think he's a good player. He's been a regular in a top team for over a year now. I think he's played every game since the first game of last year. So he's clearly up to the standard of being an AFL listed player. In my eyes, he's more of a 18th to 25th player, depending on form. That's where he kind of sits. So I think Sam Mitchell was wrong to delist him, but let's not forget that did happen. He did delist him. So he's not the perfect player. Sam Mitchell's a good coach, as much as I dislike the guy. He's a good coach. He knows what he's doing. I think he made a mistake, and everyone makes a mistake, but it's not like he bloody delisted, I don't know, Josh Kennedy, the Sydney player, like that big body kind of midfielder. Like, he's not a star. And I think we need to stop trying to convince ourselves that he's going to be a really, really good long-term player for us. Like I just said, I think he's the 18th to 25th guy on our list, and I don't see any improvement coming. He is what he is, I reckon. He's going to have patches where he's really good, like he was last year, but most of the time, I think he's going to be what he is now.
Right. So you're not comparing Ned Long to Josh Kennedy, but last year you compared this former St Kilda player who came to Collingwood, Bartel, with Josh Kennedy.
Bartel? I didn't. No, that was a who am I question, and I said that in his draft year he was compared to Josh Kennedy. That wasn't me. That was in his draft profile. How did you not get that?
God knows how I didn't get that. Yeah. So who else have you got? You got somebody else there?
Well, we kind of touched
why are you thinking about that? I'll take it. Let's look at some positives. Dan Houston. I think Dan Houston is back to Dan Houston. then I think he's going to be good
It's the
again.
Lockie Schultz effect. 1 year of doing nothing, then you're back into your best self. And yeah, I agree. We're seeing the best of him. He's a
was good.
star.
Yeah. And Rowan Steele, I think he's a really hard runner, isn't he?
Well,
Like he got on the end of a couple. He got on the end of one. He kicked the second goal, but he got on the end of one goal, like he did last week, because he's just such a hard runner.
gut runner. He only had the 12
runner.
disposals, but
Yeah, but he uses it so
he
well.
used it well. But he kicked 2 goals, and he also had 2 direct goal assists.
Yeah.
So
And
he basically 4 goals from the back of Rowan still. That's
Yeah.
real good.
Yeah, he went in 91% last week. Does it got what he went on his efficiency?
Let me check. You can babble on about someone else while I have a look if you want.
Um, oh, you know what happened to me yesterday? It's happened again. It's happened
Sorry, it's
again.
only 67%, but that's not awful. It's fine.
I'm standing at a pedestrian crossing. I think we discussed this last year. I'm standing at a pedestrian crossing with 2 or 3 other people, right? So we've got there, we've pressed the button. A couple of minutes standing there. This guy walks up, presses the button. Well, thank God you're here, mate, to press the button, because we didn't have the foggiest idea of what we were doing. We would have been here for weeks. Thank God you've arrived and you've pressed the button.
Do you want to know?
Because we didn't know what we're doing.
Well, no, it's good that he did because the complete
What is wrong with
opposite.
people?
No, the complete opposite thing happened to my partner and I a few weeks ago. We walked up and we're standing there, and we're standing there for a long time, long time, because there was 2 other people standing. It turns out that they didn't press the button; they forgot. We just assumed that they did, so we were standing there.
Forgot to press the button.
My partner was not happy, not impressed.
But these are the type of people who are calling for Dylan Ward to be demoted.
No, so I want to before we get to the positives, and I want to talk a little bit more about Dan Houston later because we spent a whole season bagging him. So I want to now pay him a bit of respect. So we'll get onto that soon. A couple more players I want to talk about. Will Parker, I think he's playing a very defensive role. So I don't think he's your traditional halfback flanker distributor, which makes sense when you got Houston and Josh Daicos and the likes down there. So it's hard to judge his game, but there were things I liked about it. There were moments where I was happy with his defensive efforts. So I think it gives us something down there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I liked his game. Just solid. Didn't stand out too much, but I'm a fan of his. I've spoken about him before. I'd like to get games into him, as many games as we can. Obviously, no one's guaranteed a game if he totally drops his bundle, or he's going to have to go back to the twos. But I see him and Ed Allen. I see them as our future. We need we need
future.
No, but we've already talked about Allen. We're not using him correctly. We just need to work out, Allen especially, whether the guy can do it or not. Let's give him everything he needs this year to find a good run and in the position in which he was recruited for. Because as we said, we're not setting the world on fire in there anyway. We're getting badly beaten. Let's put these guys in, give them a good chance, see if they're up to it. If they're not up to it, then we move them on next year. Okay? But I suspect well, Harvey Harrison, he's another one, but he's coming back from the knee. That's going to be our future. But I don't look at the twos or who we've got in the side at the moment and think, guys under like 24, other than your Nick Daicoses, who are going to be our future.
Well, I think
who's it going to be?
Printable and Swadley look pretty decent. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. We can't judge them.
They haven't played a game yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. We can't judge them one way or another. But
they haven't even played a reserves game yet. We can't judge them at all. They shouldn't even be mentioned, those guys.
Can I speak of the future? I think now's a good time to quickly talk about. So the news came out, Cal Toomey broke it on Channel 9 saying that we paid off Brodie Grundy's contract a couple of years early to basically set ourselves up for this off-season. Trelaw's contract was paid off last year as well. So we're basically... We've got a lot of cash to spend, and I think, on top of that, we're going to probably have a lot of veterans that retire at the end of the year, which will also help free up more space. And
the ghost of Brodie Grundy has finally exited the building. He's hung around for a long, long time, hasn't he? That ghost. He was a millstone around our neck. From the game after the Footscray game, the opening game of 2020, which was the last good game he played for us, until now. What year is it? 20. The ghost of Brodie Grundy has been hovering around the Collingwood said the Holden Centre, whatever you call it these days, for nigh on 6 years.
The last good game he played for us was his last game for us on Anzac Day when he had a
Yeah,
buggered knee. Yeah.
yeah, he played a half a good game. Well, I wouldn't say it was good. It was a half a good game on one league.
But regardless, anyway, so the four players that we're looking at, yeah, Zach Butters, of course, Ben King, Zach Bailey, and Bailey Humphrey. Four pretty good players. So, God, I'm hopeful. If we walk out of this with zero players, that's a fucking disaster because we've set ourselves and we've got four targets. We've got a number one target and we've got a backup, another backup, and another backup. How many can we get? I still think just probably one. I'm not.
I think we're going to get one,
yeah.
can't we? Surely we're going to get one.
So, look, Zach Butters is just a great player. So he's going to be number one on my list. I know he's number one on your list.
Yes, he's number 1, 2, 3, and 4 on my list.
I had Zach Bailey at number 2. I think he's a special player, but, and you're going to hate this, I think there's a clear number 2 now, and I think it's Ben King. Because I said, no, just hear me, I said at the start of the preseason, it really depends on how our key forwards go. I said, if the BMW, which by the way, I'm distancing myself from the BMW now.
Wasn't that a tad early?
Although Charlie West, he could still be all right. But I said, if the BMW fall apart, then we're in desperate need of a key forward. I said
They fell apart before they were assembled, Dermot. Sorry, do you want this to be a short, do you? Here we go.
No.
Keep on going.
I said, if they fall apart, then we're in desperate need of Ben King. I said, but if they all played a role, if Buller's better than what we expect, if Charlie West develops, if one of McStay or Membry can do something, then we can probably get away with not having a Ben King. Well, you know what? Not West because he hasn't played, but the other three are fucking shithouse. Let's just say it again. They are hopeless. So you know what? We need Ben King. I don't care what you say.
If I was Ben King and I'd look at Gold Coast midfield and then I looked at Collingwood's midfield, I know what I'd be doing.
Oh yeah, but we don't have our proper midfielders. Put Josh and Nick in there together. Oh, that's a pretty good combination. Can we get Zach Butters and Ben King? Because if you got both Daicos boys and Butters kicking it to him, I think you'd be pretty excited with that.
Oh, look, if we could get both, yes, I'd probably take Ben King if we can get. But you can't get both, can you?
Well, here's the thing: key forwards don't grow on trees. I know you always say, let's just get a cheap sort of key forward that can play a role. They're not that easy to find because we've got fucking 4 of them there at the moment, and none of them are any good.
Like I said, but if you got a top midfield, I reckon it can make any forward line. Sorry, yeah, top midfield can make any forward line look good. You know, if somebody's putting it on your chest, you don't need to be a great forward to take advantage of that.
I just imagine if we got Ben King though, we just see the back of these potatoes, these walking, talking potatoes. Get rid of them. Ben King, just.
Yeah, Ben King is yet to convince me. He's that player.
Michael,
he's that player.
He's been pretty good for a few years now, Ben King.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, we're talking, as we said, we're talking about a guy we'd have to pay 1.7 million to. We'd have to give up. What would we have to give up? I know he's a free agent, but we still have to probably give up something.
Is he restricted or unrestricted? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Oh no, he was in the same draft as Butters, so yeah, he's restricted. He's restricted.
1.7 in there. That's a lot of money, I reckon, to pay for a full forward when it's not 1995 anymore. They're not the damaging. They're not the guys who kick the goals in the finals. It's the Bobby Hills. It's the Charlie Camerons.
Well, yeah, and that's my whole point.
These types who kick the goals in the finals.
That's my whole point as to why we don't need these 3 tours at the moment. We can go in with Elliott and DeGoey.
Yeah, but by the same token, I don't think we need a superstar in inverted commas, key forward.
I think it'll be handy if it means we can get rid of these other guys.
Yeah, look at Brisbane last year. Look at their key forwards. None of them are superstar key forwards. None of them were. Logan Morris is developing. That other guy who's got the wide shoulders, Gallup. Obviously,
they got Oscar Allen now.
What's that? Oh, Hoskin Elliott, who hasn't done, not Hoskin Elliott.
Hoskin Elliott. Wouldn't he be handy at the moment, actually?
Oscar Allen hasn't done anything for 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, because of injury, but he's a good player.
Yeah, well, maybe he's going to recapture that form, but he certainly didn't.
He will at Brisbane.
But he didn't play in their grand finals the last 2 years, Dermot. Did he?
No.
So, and they managed to win those.
Rank those 4 players. I want you to rank them from 1 to 4 right now on, what is it, March 15, 2026. Who would you go? So number 1 down to number 4,
Who's the fourth one again? You got King, you got Butters, you got Bailey, you got
Humphrey.
Humphrey. Oh, okay, right. Okay. I would go, well, Butters is one quite easily. Um, how old's Bailey? He's for 26, 27?
Oh, yeah. He'd be mid
Yeah,
20s. I'll look it
26.
up and get the exact age.
Humphrey two. Humphrey's like 21, isn't he?
Yeah, he's young.
And he looks crash hot. Humphrey two, Bailey three.
He's
and
27 in September.
yeah, okay. Yeah, but so Butters one, Humphrey two, Bailey three, and King four.
For me, it's Butters 1, then Daylight. King 2, then Daylight. I would rather Humphrey as a player, mainly because of age. I think Zach Bailey is a great player. But remember, he's the only one of the 4 that's in contract. So they could ask for the absolute world for him. So you need to take that into consideration. So I'd probably go Zach Bailey 3, Bailey Humphrey 4, just because of what we would have to give to get Bailey Humphrey.
Yeah, well, listening to Hardwick the other day to ask him about Humphrey, they're not going to let him go.
No. And if they do, they have every right to ask for the world. He's a contracted young gun with so much potential. You know, if that was us, like we're not. If that was someone asking for, I don't know. We don't have anyone other than Nick Daicos.
Yeah.
What do you think about Nick Daicos? Is he going to go to Tassie?
Oh, I wouldn't have thought so. You know, geez, dude, how long do we have to put up with these stories in the paper?
Until Tassie come into the competition.
It's only March. It's only March. At least can you at least talk about these things during trade season? Yeah, no, I'd be amazed if he goes. I'd be amazed. He's obviously they're doing what they normally do when they're in the lead up to a new contract. I know he's contracted to 2029, but they're making all the right noises as you imagine him and his manager would. They're just haggling for the best price. So they're not going to say, "Oh no, we're staying at Collingwood." Well, they wouldn't. That's not in their best interest, financially speaking, to say this. I see a story that he wasn't happy on and off the field last year at Collingwood.
What a joke!
Like, is that made up? Is that exaggerated?
Wasn't happy with his role. I mean, like what his role was just
we built the whole side around him.
I can't see that being the case.
No, I'd be like this. He only needs to look at his dad to see that his dad still makes money out of being a Collingwood player 30 years after he retired. 32 years after he retired, he still makes money from being a one club Collingwood player icon. As guys like Swanee will, if he stays at Collingwood and he ends up being our greatest player ever, or even the league, or even the competition's greatest player ever, he just makes a truckload from being a Collingwood player for the rest of his life.
What I will say, I don't think he's going to leave, and I'll be absolutely fucking heartbroken if he does. But what I will say, Jared Waitley said it perfectly on SEN. He said, well, as a Geelong supporter, I never saw the day that Gary Ablett Jr. would walk out to go to an expansion club, or any club, but especially an expansion club. So it's possible. It's possible.
It's possible, but let's look on the bright side. If he were to go, we spoke about this briefly last year, so I forget about my. I reckon we'd get 5 first rounders.
Would we? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it works. I'm not sure how it works with the Tassie.
Well, this is what we should get. This is what we should get. Okay.
I'm not convinced, Michael.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know about the.
What did Geelong get for Gary?
I don't know. Just let me talk. This is short worthy. Okay.
Hold on. What if it's incorrect? I'm not going to put this out.
I don't care. Like it's the first time I've said
You want me to
something
put this
incorrect.
out on YouTube Shorts, even if it's incorrect information?
If we only put out stuff that I said that was correct, it would be a very short podcast.
I've actually got something to say about that in a second, but yeah.
Hear me out. This is what I think we should get. I reckon we should get four first rounders, 2 of them being top 10, okay? Another 2, and a 5th for his marketing. So 4 first rounders for his playing ability, and a 5th first rounder because the marketing he's going to bring to the club will be enormous.
Yeah.
So that's what we should get is 5 first rounders, 2 of them top 10s for Daicos.
What does work in our favour is they're coming into the competition 2028 and he's contracted to 2029. And I see the media keeps on leaving that out. It's not like he comes out of contract the first year Tassie are there. So
Yeah.
interesting. But yeah. Oh, what I will say about your
Oh, sorry,
short.
he's really going to go down and play at York Park after having played in front of 80, 90,000
Apparently, the
at the
stadium's not going to be ready till
Exactly. He's going to be playing
2031.
at Blunston. And he's going to be playing at York Park. All right.
2031. What the fuck is going on?
Oh,
Ugh.
yeah.
I already thought it was disgraceful. It was going to be 1 year after they came in. You want your first game as a football club to be at your big ass new stadium,
But
and
we live in Tasmania. We knew it was the stadium
nah.
was never going to be ready on time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went down there. I went down there about a month ago to have a look, and it's just fucking. It's nothing at the moment. It's just yeah.
Daicos isn't going anywhere.
I'm
Sorry,
going
you
next Saturday. I'm going to the first Tasmania VFL game at North Hobart. I've got my tickets for that. It's our Collingwood's buy round because of opening round. We've already got a buy round. Good on you, AFL. That's
Yeah,
worked well.
I can see
That's
Longmuir's
worked
and a
well.
few others aren't happy with that
Oh,
the setup and with some justification
oh,
because
100%. It's a
like
disgrace. The
they
AFL are a fucking disgrace. Andrew Dillon, pull
so I
your
thought this
head
is
out of
my
your
point.
ass. Pull your head out of your ass, Andrew Dillon, and start listening to the fans, start listening to the coaches, start listening to the media, the players. Listen to someone, you moron. Because opening around
Well,
is not working.
well,
It
he
is not
can't
working.
listen to
How unfair.
he.
How
In fairness to Andrew Dillon, he can't listen to me particularly because you're talking over me. Because I was trying to make the point,
Fuck
and you're
opening
telling him
round.
to listen to me
Fuck
while you
opening
talk
round.
over
Go
me.
on, go on.
Okay, because Frio fell right away in that kind of halfway through the third quarter. Adelaide
Nearly
fell
did.
away a fair bit last night. Let's be honest. We were
Mm.
taking advantage of that before the umpire intervened, but we weren't good enough anyway, as I said. But it's just the competition is so compromised at
Mm.
so many different levels. This competition is so compromised. Before I die, would like to see an even competition
Never going to happen.
across the board with everything. It's never going to happen because you got competing interests, you got TV rights and all that. I understand that, but it's
Opening
just
round, we're growing the game in Queensland
it's
and Sydney, Michael.
it's too compromised. It's too compromised. You can grow the game in these northern states, but at heart, these northern states are always going to be rugby league at heart. So we're always going to be up against it. If these sides, these AFL sides up there, aren't always competing at the pointy end, the support up there will drop away. So you're always going to have to artificially build the game up there. You're always going to have to give these sides advantages in drafts and northern academies and so forth and so on, because otherwise you'll lose the support overnight.
But
That's going to be the case for at least generations and generations and
you know
generations.
what helps the game grow in Queensland and Sydney? Premierships and finals football. And Brisbane are doing that. Gold Coast are going to compete.
Yeah,
Sydney
but
have done that over the last 20 years.
and why are they
GWS have been
doing
up
that?
there.
Because of the compromises to the
Yeah,
draft
but what I'm
and the
saying
northern
is,
academies.
yeah,
That's
but
why they're doing
what
it.
I'm saying is
And the cola systems they've had
opening
in the
round isn't
past.
going to contribute to the game growing. That's got fucking nothing to do with it. Like,
Anyway.
I listened to a fantasy podcast which is based up in Queensland, and the guy was talking about opening round. He said there's no advertising. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody cares. This is an AFL fan, but he's just talking about what he sees in Queensland. And he says the NRL was actually on that weekend anyway, which made nobody give a shit. Like, it's a waste of time. Now, if they're so desperate to grow the football in the Northern States and keep on going with this pathetic opening round, maybe just have the marquee matches in Queensland and Sydney on a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, whatever, and then have everyone else play in over in Adelaide, Perth, Melbourne, whatever. Because like it doesn't even make sense now because Collingwood St Kilda played in Melbourne. So they've got that one game. So why not just fucking let everybody play? And here's an idea, Michael. This is crazy. Let's call it round one.
Well, that's the other thing. It does my head in. It's still, I still can't get my head around. Somebody says, "Oh, round one, round zero." Yeah, you take a second to,
Yeah.
it's kind of center yourself. Okay, hold on. Round one's not round one. If you're going to call it just call it round one. Round one can be round two. Why can't they do that? And the other thing it compromises is the ladder.
The ladder.
The ladder. You don't might as well just not look at the ladder until about 6 weeks out from the finals, because it gives you no it just.
Well, last year they pushed
it's
that
a
Gold
dog's
Coast
breakfast.
Essendon game because of the cyclone right back to the very last game of the year, which means right throughout the year the ladder did not once make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Not once.
It just
because Gold Coast are up there too. Every time you're like, oh yeah, look, Collingwood are here. Oh, but Gold Coast have still got a game in hand, and they're one game behind us. So it was just very frustrating. But what I do want to quickly bring up before we get into the positives, then just end the pod. Your short that you forced me into making a couple of weeks ago about the top six, bottom six players. Fuck, could you be proven any more incorrect? Our bottom six is just awful, and our top six is actually very decent. A part of me just wants to rip that short down because the podcast is, oh, none of these guys are spuds. Lockie Sullivan, who's nowhere near. Oscar Steen, who's not playing. Ed Allen, he's a very good player, 8 disposals. Although Pat Lipinski, he's a good player. Oh, look at our top. Josh Daicos, no good. Nick Daicos, no good. What an awful short. How could something turn to shit after 2 weeks? Your short did exactly that.
Okay, I'm just going to take a few notes because obviously you're the school captain in the debating side. Because what you do if you hold a different opinion to somebody else, all you have to do is impersonate them in a disparaging manner, and you've won your argument. You put on a stupid voice that makes them sound unhinged, and bang, you've won. I'm going to shut this down. For all the budding school debating captains out there, take notes on that. Thank you.
Oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, you're
That's
right.
it. Well,
Lockie Sullivan is
disagree.
holding this team together.
Agree to disagree.
Lockie Sullivan,
But you build a good case with that impersonation, Dermot. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Let's end in a more positive way. Let's talk about some of these guns. Dan Houston. Well done to Dan. He looks like he is back. But again, it makes you question the coaching. Why weren't we using him as our number one distributor? Get the ball in Dan's hands, and only good things will happen. He's a very, very good player, Dan Houston. Nick Daicos again. I don't care that we lost. He's getting the 3 Brownlow votes for me. 33 disposals and 2 goals.
Can I just quickly say something about
Nick?
Can I just say something negative about Nick?
No, why would you say something negative about Nick?
Yeah, no, it's just an observation. Not everything's negative.
Are you going to say that he calls for the ball when he shouldn't?
No, I said that last year.
You've said that a lot, yeah.
I didn't. No, I said that last year. I didn't see much evidence of that recently, but this is just an observation. He's just, and it's not his. He's just not his dad around goals. Like he and neither of them are their dad around, and not many people are. But like he misses a lot of goals, and they're not easy goals. It's not a criticism. It's just a lament, really. It's just a bit of a lament. I wish he was as good around goals as his dad was, because it was just his dad. Those shots that Nick was having last night, where he kicked, he ended up
2-2.
He kicked 2 goals, 2-2, and he missed 3 goals in the opening round with got shots on the run, and it would just be.
Was
nice.
it 3 goals that he missed? I'm not sure about that.
Look, he regularly misses goals in the run. He gets very close. He has these shots and he gets very close, but he just doesn't nail them.
This is meant to be the positive part of the podcast. The first hour has just been negative.
You shouldn't look at things. No, that's another thing about society. They look at comments either negative or positive. Some comments are just observational comments that the person sees as being fact, not necessarily positive or negative, just feedback. I wish he was as good as his dad when it comes to his finishing inside forward 50. It's just a bit of disappointment because this is a guy, I think and I said it last year, to take his game, the one horizon he's got left is to be kicking 30, 35 goals a year as a midfielder. Like a Heaney does, like a Warner does, like they have in the past. I know they push forward more than he does, but that's what I'd like to see from Nick Daicos. Him being an on-baller who's capable of kicking 30, 35. He kicked 19 or 17 goals last year. That's the next step, I think, in his development, if he can do that.
Brother Josh, another good game, 28 disposals at 86% efficiency, so using it very well, very classy. He looks to have gone to another level, Josh, and another reason why he should just be in the guts. He should be in the guts. Have you got the clearance numbers? I actually haven't looked at it. It felt like we got smashed.
Yeah, no, we got smashed in centre clearances. Around the ground clearances, we were about the same.
Are you looking them up, or do you want me to?
Yeah. Keep on going.
Okay, so we'll talk about that in a sec. Jack Crisp, I think Jack Crisp had a good game.
Yeah,
he's impressed me the last 2 weeks. Yeah,
he got us back into it a bit
in the second or third. Yeah, but he was someone that I was questioning throughout the preseason, and he's answered. I think his first 2 games of this year were better than any game he played last year, other than that Freo game over in Perth. He dominated that game last year, but other than that, I think these first two have been good, and I think he was partly responsible for playing on Dawson as well, like not to
Yeah,
the extent of Perryman on Nazaya last week, but yeah, he was a bit of a cooler role. Have you got the numbers there, Mick?
Yeah, so we'll go through stoppages altogether. So hit outs, they won 35-19. So maybe that's where a lot of
What's
it stemmed.
Cameron doing? Losing to two kids, or
Oh,
McAndrew's not a kid, but two
what-
very
yeah,
inexperienced players.
Yeah, one of the kids is 210 centimetres and probably
Yeah.
110 kilos. Big guy. Clearances, overall clearances, 29 each. So that doesn't really tell the story.
Yeah, right.
Center square clearances, 16-9. They won.
I mean,
And stoppages around the ground. Stoppage clearances we actually won. 20-13. But center square clearances 16-9. Yeah.
well, looking at CBAs,
Well, of course, we won the around the ground clearances because it was even overall, so we had to, yeah.
so Josh Daicos, like I said, had 9 CBAs for the game, 2 in the third quarter, which I think were right at the end of the third quarter, and then he was our number one CBA player in the last quarter with 7. So let's just not chuck him in there when we need something different, when we're behind in the game. He's a midfielder. We got Dan Houston. It's his backline now, and he's showing that it's his backline. We don't need Josh down there, especially when Darcy and Jeremy Howe come back. There's 2 defensive spots just gone because like they're coming in for smalls. Let's face it, because we need 2 more tools down there. We've only got Billy Frampton, so surely at that point when there's defensive spots up for grabs, that's when defensive spots to lose. Surely that's when Josh is pushed out and becomes that midfielder because we desperately need him in there. Let's give him a good run, a really good run. Because he's in good touch at the moment. Lockie Schultz again. We talk about Lockie Schultz every week. God, he's a good player. 15 disposals, 2 goals, 8 score involvements.
How many tackles did he have?
Oh,
You got that there?
don't
worry.
I didn't write it down. It won't take me long to find.
Well, why are you talking about that? St Kilda last week played in front of their biggest home and away crowd ever, of whatever 83,000. Guess where it ranks as far as Pendlebury goes?
Yeah, I heard this. It's like 40th or something, isn't it?
43rd.
Yeah. They're such a minnow club, aren't they?
Yeah.
See, Ned Long led us for tackles again. This is the thing. His defensive efforts are still elite, Ned Long. He's always at the top for us in
we need more.
pressure acts and tackles and that kind of stuff. Shooter, only the 2 tackles. It felt like it was a lot more.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
still played
there's
a good
probably
game.
pressure acts around that as well.
Yeah, still played a really good game. I think IQ and Brazzy were solid at down back again, playing undersized. It's not fair on them. I think they hold up all right down there. I've been impressed with their starts of the season. And we already spoke about Rowan Steele.
Have you got DeGoey on your list? DeGoey was an interesting game.
No, I thought DeGoey was quite.
I've got DeGoey quite-ish. But
His
when
second quarter was decent, I think, and then the
when he
rest
did-
was yeah.
When he did get his ball, when he did get the ball in hand, I think we benefited when we got it. Yeah, he was good when he got the ball, but yeah, he didn't really look like it, did he? As far as it was a weird game from him. Why didn't he play
Maybe
well?
he needs more CBAs. I know for the majority of these podcasts have been saying we need to play him out of the square. I still think Elliott's the first guy who plays out of square. DeGoey's the one that rotates with him. DeGoey should rotate between deep forward and CBA midfielder. At the moment, he's kind of playing in between. He's kind of half forward, pushing into the stoppages. It's just, I think he's kind of in no man's land. That's the way I see it. So
but
I
as
would
far
like
as
to see him used a bit differently.
Yeah, as far as the forwards go, I just remember McRae was asked about them in the press conference.
Was he? What did he say?
And
What did he say?
He said words to the effect, "We're not getting much out of our forwards. That's real. Oh, sorry, out of our key forwards." He said, "We're not getting much out of our key forwards. That's real." So hopefully, he does something about the reality, and he just doesn't go in with the same thing all over again. So he's admitting there's an issue down there. So you'd like to think he'd now act upon that.
So did you hear about the story behind Jack Buller before he came to Collingwood, or when he came to Collingwood?
Oh, no. Other than he was Sydney player, and yeah.
Yeah, well, he's a Sydney key forward. He reached out to Anthony Rocker to be a bit of a mentor. He's coming from Sydney to Collingwood as a key forward, how to handle the pressure. Anthony was unavailable to be his mentor. Yeah. What can I possibly do here?
Well, he's been unwell, Rocker, so maybe.
No, he's good now.
Okay, maybe. But keep on going. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was unavailable. So, yeah, he wanted to find another key forward that made the switch from Sydney to Collingwood to help mentor him.
No, it's not true.
He came across Jesse White.
No, I would not believe you. You're saying that a lot of things I say are wrong. No, this is wrong. I
Jesse White has taken him under his wing. He's taken him under his wing. No, it's not true, but
thank God.
None of that's true. But he's playing like Jesse.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a universe out there somewhere that Jesse White has taken Buller under his wing. Some universe somewhere. So things could get worse at a different universe for Collingwood. At least that's not happening here.
We'll look ahead in 2 weeks' time because thanks to opening round, we're not playing next week. It's against the Giants. They were very bad on a weekend against the Bulldogs. Very, very bad. I tipped them to be a slider this year, and I even have to miss it out in the wild card. I still think they're a good team. They just got a lot of good players out. And I was after the Hawks game, I was thinking, maybe I got this one wrong, but feeling a bit more confident about it after what I saw yesterday from them. But you still got to show them respect, and they're going to be hungry after that loss to the Dogs. They've got obviously Jesse Hogan and a few other tours down there. I'm not sure if Cadman will be back. Hopefully not. But we desperately need Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe back. Darcy is surely a lock. I don't know what the hell is going on with that guy.
Well, that's also McRae in his press conference because we were told. Because I saw Moore in the agenda setters, kind of midweek, and he said, if I get through training tomorrow, which I think was the Thursday, I'll be right to go. Well, it was reported the next day that he had a possible hamstring issue. And then we're told, no, it wasn't a hamstring issue. His hamstring fine, and it's just his calf. So it's just the same problem. And hopefully he'll get over that quicker. And it's good that he doesn't have a hamstring issue. Then McRae in his press conference last night said Moore had hamstring awareness. So it's back to the hamstring again.
What the fuck is awareness? Look, can we stop with this?
Well, how many games?
It doesn't make any sense.
Well,
he's aware that he has a hamstring?
Well, how many games did Moore miss going back 5 or 6 years ago with hamstring awareness? He missed the 2018 grand final with hamstring awareness. We could have done with him that day.
And Howe. Can Howe come back and can we get maybe 2 games out of him before he goes down again?
Howe, I got the feeling Howe's going to be a while off. Oh, he's going to be a while off.
We need them. We need them back.
Yeah. And Reef is going to need time.
He's even longer. He's listed as 4 to 6 weeks. How we thought that we were going to get through this year with these guys as our main key defenders when none of them have got sound bodies is just ridiculous. Poor old Billy Frampton.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So I don't want to hear much criticism of Frampton. By anybody.
He was very bad last week by foot. Like his decision making was bad, but I feel bad for him in terms of he's having to be that only key defender holding up that whole back line.
He should be paid triple time.
And I feel bad for Quaynor and Maynard as well, having to play tall when they're midgets. So.
Oh yeah, like Quaynor in 2 occasions I saw him contesting against Thilthorpe for a mark. Like, come on.
Yeah. So as I said at the start of pod, we'll be back on Wednesday. Myself, Paige, Andres, and Oscar. I'm thinking, Michael, that unless there's some huge news that breaks during the week, that we have next weekend off. Like, what are we going to do? Like, I'm going, like I said before, going to the Tassie game, VFL on Saturday.
Oh, no, maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. If there's huge off-field news that breaks or whatever, then we'll come back for an episode next weekend. But I think we did a few bye episodes last year, and I felt like we're just trying to put together at least a 40-minute episode of just talking absolute nonsense because there wasn't a hell of a lot to talk about. So, yeah.
All right, good. Yeah,
all right.
See how it goes.
Yeah. We'll wrap this one up. Any final words?
No.
All right. Thanks for listening. We look forward to doing it again soon. See ya.